Hey there, and welcome. We're about to dive into something that's honestly one of the most powerful things you can do in your spiritual life, but it's also one of the hardest. We're talking about how to take all that weight, all that anxiety, and actually transform it into peace. And the key? Well, it's all about surrender.
Okay, to kick things off, I want you to try something. Just imagine you're carrying this heavy backpack. I mean, really feel it. It's on your shoulders the second your feet hit the floor in the morning. It's there while you're trying to work, and it's still digging into your shoulders when you finally get home. And inside, it's filled with these heavy rocks, each one a different burden. You can just feel that strain, right? That ache in your back with every single step you take. So what's actually in that backpack? Let's get specific, because we all have these rocks, don't we? For you, maybe it's that constant low-hum anxiety about the future, or maybe it's the weight of your finances. It could be an old resentment you just can't shake, or that fear of failure that keeps you up at night, or just the day-in, day-out stress from work. Man, that backpack gets heavy, fast. All right, let's get real for a second. What's the actual cost of trying to carry all this by ourselves? Because believe me, it's a lot more than just feeling a little tired.
You know, we sometimes think carrying all this stuff is a sign of strength, but it's really just a recipe for burnout. It's this emotional drain where all the joy just kind of leaks out of your life. And spiritually, your faith can feel like it's completely stalled out. Prayer starts to feel like a chore, not a conversation. And you know what happens to all that stress, right? It spills over onto our families, our friends. I mean, just look at the Israelites in the Bible. Their fear, their refusal to trust God cost them 40 years of wandering in the desert.
But here's the thing, and if you hear nothing else today, hear this. You were never, ever meant to carry that backpack by yourself. There's a standing invitation for you to just set it down. And this isn't just some nice thought. It's a direct invitation. Come to me, he says. It's an offer of real relief, a promise of actual rest for anyone who is just exhausted by it all. That's not for somebody else. That's for you.
And this next verse just nails the why. Why can we do this? It's not just about getting rid of anxiety. The really important part is who you're giving it to. And the reason you can hand it all over is so simple but so deep. It's because he actually cares for you.
Okay, let's zoom in on that word cast. It's not a passive word. It's not like you just hope it floats away. It's an action. Think of it like throwing a ball. You have to make a choice, wind up, and intentionally let it go. It's a conscious decision to hand that burden over. It's a real act of faith.
And this is so important to understand. Surrender is not giving up. It's not just throwing your hands in the air and ignoring the problem. No way. It's actually an incredible act of strength. You're trading your limited control for God's unlimited power. It's swapping your weakness for His strength. What a deal, right?
Okay, so if the offer is on the table, and it's a good one, why is it so ridiculously hard to actually let go? Let's talk about the big hurdles that keep that backpack glued to our shoulders.
See if any of these sound familiar. First up, there's pride. That's the little voice in your head going, nah, I got this, I can handle it. Then there's fear, whispering, but what if God doesn't fix it? What then? Oh, and impatience, tapping its foot saying, I need a solution like yesterday. And then maybe the biggest one of all, disbelief. The one that quietly wonders, does God really care about my little problem? The good news is, for every single one of these, there's a counter-truth, a promise from God we can hold on to instead.
And trying to just muscle through on our own, it has real consequences. Just think about Jonah. He literally tried to run from what God asked him to do. He thought he could handle it his way. And what happened? His refusal to surrender didn't make things better. It landed him in the middle of a massive storm and then, well, in the belly of a giant fish. The point is, trying to carry it alone almost always makes the problem even heavier.
All right, enough about the why. Let's get into the how. I'm going to walk you through 4 really simple, practical steps you can start doing like today to start walking a little lighter.
Step 1. You have to identify the burden. Get specific. What's the rock? Name it. Maybe even write it down. Step 2. Prayerful surrender. This is where you talk to God honestly. No fancy words needed. Just tell Him what's going on and that you're handing it over. Step 3. This is the faithful release. I love this part. Actually visualize it. Picture yourself taking that worry and placing it at His feet, and then you walk away. And finally, step 4, observe the peace. You've got to keep your eyes open for those little moments of relief, and when you feel them, thank Him for taking the load.
Okay, let's just pause right here for a second. I want you to think, what is the one thing right now that's weighing on you the most?
What's that first rock you need to pull out of the backpack? Just get it clear in your mind.
Okay, you got it? Now let's try that second step, right now. If you're in a place where you can, I want you to say this out loud with me, and just fill in that blank with whatever you were just thinking of. Ready? Lord, I place my worry about blank at your feet. I trust you to carry it.
Now, a quick heads up. This isn't always like a magic switch. Let's take Sarah, for example. She surrendered this huge amount of stress from her job. The anxiety didn't just poof and disappear, but what she did notice was the slow, quiet dawn. The next morning, there was a small but real sense of peace that wasn't there before. It's often more like that than a sudden lightning bolt.
And when you start making this a regular habit, the results can be absolutely life-changing. So what's the payoff? What's on the other side of letting go? Let's take a look.
This is it. This is why it's worth it. We're talking about a lighter heart, a calmer mind, getting clarity right when you feel the most confused, being free from that hamster wheel of what-ifs. It builds a faith that's not so fragile, one that's way more resilient. And of course, it stops you from dumping your stress all over the people you care about. And listen, this isn't just some nice theory. Check this out from a guy named Mark. He was super anxious about a big move. He did the prayer, he did the visualization, placing his fears in God's hands. He said the next morning, he woke up with a kind of clarity and energy he hadn't felt in months. That's the real deal difference it can make.
There's this quote from A.W. Tozer that just hits the nail on the head. He says, "Surrender isn't about giving up. It's about trusting God enough to let Him handle what you can't. It's not weakness. It's the ultimate sign of trust. It's admitting, you know what? God is better at running my life than I am."
So let's go all the way back to where we started. You're standing at the bottom of this huge mountain, and that backpack is just digging into your shoulders. And then a guy walks up. He's not going to leave you to climb it alone. He's just making an offer. Let me carry that for you.
And so that leaves us with one last question to think about, a big one. What could you accomplish? Who could you become? What could you do for the world if you were finally walking lighter? Just imagine that.